Hey folks, Alamandic the HotRodHippie here. It's Tooltip Tuesday once again. I've got a product for you that I personally use pretty often. I'm going to be using it in the video that I'm making for this week, so I thought I should show it to you before I just use it in a video. So let's check out what I have for you this week. So this week's Tooltip Tuesday video is about temporary fasteners, and by that I mean Clecos. These little spring-loaded fasteners are a fabricator's best friend when doing sheet metal work. Basically what you do with these is you depress them with the pliers that grips the little ring around the body design or depresses the spring plunger, and you stick them through whatever size hole they're set up for. The copper colored ones are for 1/8 inch and the gold ones are for 3/16 of an inch. Those are the ones that I have and use commonly. But the idea is you can temporarily fasten together different components as long as they've got the proper size hole in them. Say these two little pieces of sheet metal here, they both have an 1/8 inch hole. They're separated apart. I have the Cleco. All I need to do is line up the holes, stick that through there, and now I have them temporarily fastened together. This can be really handy if you're going to be welding together pieces. Maybe you're spot welding them together. So you already have those holes there. You can drill out one larger later to get the proper size spot weld hole. If you're going to be screwing pieces together, if you're going to be using nut certs, as I mentioned in previous Tooltip Tuesdays, I'll often use these to line things up before I drill out for the nut cert. I've already got my pilot hole with the other size hole there, so I can just drill these out to the larger sizes I need. Or they can be handy when you're going to be either pop riveting or solid riveting together components. They come from the aircraft industry, and that's where they primarily use them, is to prep pieces, get them all clipped together so they know where everything's going to line up properly, and then they can come through and rivet behind these. Just take one out, put a rivet in place of it, and work your way around the panel. Now, a lot of people will use, say, a self-tapping screw for the same concept, just to go ahead and screw together panels so they can hold them in place until they're ready to come through and weld them together. Personally, I like Clecos a lot better because they are much easier to install and remove repeatedly. Often I'll use these when I'm going to be working on a piece where I need to get the shape just right. Maybe a patch panel, a quarter panel replacement piece, a skin for a door panel, or a floor pan piece. I can go ahead and Cleco it down, get it in position. You know what, the shape's not quite right yet. So I can rework it and then repeatedly put it back into position where I need it to go. Now Clecos have a decent clamp pressure, but not a very strong one overall. If your panels don't fit well, these aren't going to be magic. They're not going to suck that panel in like a screw might do. But you shouldn't be working a panel like that anyway. If your panels aren't lining up pretty well before you apply any clamp force to them, they're not fitted properly to begin with. You're just going to be opening a can of worms to do anything other than make sure that they fit properly before you weld them. Now sometimes when you're doing those door panels, those quarter panel skins, you can't get to things to clamp them the way you would like to. Your vice grips won't reach that far. You might have a long quarter panel you're working on. Well, what are you going to do? That's where these come in. The idea is you get that panel lined up, you get it all basically fitted where you're going to want it, as close to it as you can. Then you clamp it as much as you can wherever you can. You go ahead and Cleco the new piece to the old piece so that it's held in position where you want it. Now you come along and you install these little tabs. You overlap across the seam of the two pieces and you drill a second hole into the skin that you're not going to be replacing. The section of the panel you're still going to be keeping where it is. Now you can go ahead and scribe your line right along that replacement piece so you know that you're getting your line right where you need it to be. Take off the replacement piece, cut to that scribe line, finish it off, fit the panel again, and now these tabs should line you right back up where you need to be and function as clamps to hold that panel where it needs to be. You can see in this picture right here what I'm talking about. This is a little bit complex of a topic, and I will absolutely show you how to do this hands-on in a future video, but for now I just wanted to highlight that this is a pretty neat little use you can have for these Clecos. Clecos are just a really handy tool when you're doing sheet metal work. They're great for assembly and disassembly of components, making sure everything fits up properly before you're ready to really tag it together. There'll be links down in the description below where you can pick up Clecos for yourself. They range in price depending on what size you want to get, how many you want to get. It's up to you what's going to work for you. I like the 1/8 inch ones when I know I'm going to be welding the hole up or plug welding a piece afterward, because then I have the smallest hole possible to go ahead and fit that together but fill that hole later. I like the 3/16 ones when I'm going to be either solid riveting riveting because I'm using a 3/16 rivet or something like that, or I'm going to be drilling it out for a larger screw later. Go ahead and drop the video a like if you found it interesting. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you use Clecos? Have you seen them on a bunch of cars and you never quite knew what they were? Did I explain it well enough for you? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this every week. And thanks for coming around, folks.